Hey everyone, Michelle Zenisek here. I know it's been a while since I've gone live. Had a lot going on in the last couple of months. So I'm back and looking forward to trying something new here. Um, I don't know if any of you are familiar with the Reddit. Uh, am I the a hole? Um, Question and answer area where you can, pose your question on whether people think that you're the a-hole in a certain situation. So I thought it would be kind of fun to, kind of uh, bring a Christian perspective to some of these um, questions. Now, also understanding that, you don't know if you're getting the full story. You may only be getting one side of the story, or most likely you are only getting one side of the story. So you have to kind of take anything, you kind of have to take it with a grain of salt. You go with the information you have, but there obviously, could be more to the story. So let's look at that. So this question I pulled up today is, am I the a-hole for telling my brother to get over it after I let my ex in his house so he could see our sick son? Now, full disclosure here, I am divorced. Yes, I am a Christian. I am divorced. I've been divorced. How long have I been divorced? 16 and a half years. So my kids are 22 and 19. So, it's been a long time. So, that doesn't mean that I condone divorce. It doesn't mean that I think that people should just get divorced because they feel like it, blah, blah, blah. So, but ultimately, divorce happens and God does hate divorce, but he doesn't hate divorced people. Okay. So, so let's get into this question. So the writer asks or says, I don't want to go too much into detail, but I'm divorcing my ex. It's been messy, and I've been living with my brother as he helped me leave him. My brother used to be friends with my ex, so the divorce has been rough for him too, and I think he's been focusing on his anger so he doesn't have to accept that my ex hurt him too. I'm not sure I understand that, but okay. So then the next paragraph is, my son was sick and he kept asking for his dad. So I asked my ex to come and see him. My brother was out when he came over, but my sister-in-law was home and she kept telling me he wouldn't like it when he found out. I think she called him because he came home early and he knew before he even saw my ex. He told my ex to get out of his house and to stay away from me and forget he had a son. My ex refused, but I made him go as their arguing was upsetting me, or was upsetting my son. Once he left and my son had calmed down, my brother turned his anger on me. He thinks I'm insane for asking my ex to come and see our son, as he thinks I need to stay away from him until our divorce is finalized. He told me he didn't want him in his house again and wouldn't budge when I reminded him he's still my son's father. I was frustrated, so I told him he needed to get over it because I did what was best for my son in the moment. Okay, so now when you read some of the comments, first of all, comments have been shut off on this particular thread because I guess some people were violating. There was an excess of rule violations, is what it says. But there are people in the comments that are assuming that abuse was involved here. Now, I don't necessarily disagree with that, but we don't know. We don't know that. Okay. They're assuming because the brother helped her leave him that there's abuse involved. Okay, I can see that point. Okay, but we don't know that. Okay, and but then it's, does she have a restraining order against him? What? No abuse is okay. Physical abuse is awful. Emotional and verbal abuse are all horrible, right? But I would say as long as this man is not a physical threat, to his soon-to-be ex-wife and child. I don't think there was anything wrong with her asking him to come. I mean, the son wanted to see him. I think that's reasonable. And I think this brother sounds like he has some anger management issues of his own. I mean, if he would literally come home early from wherever he was, assuming it was a work, because this person was, because the soon to be ex-husband was in the house. I mean, I think it's been severely, um, a mountain made out of a molehill here. This man has a right to see his child. Again, unless he is a physical threat to that child and there's a restraining order involved, then I can see the argument there. But this brother sounds like he really just lost it and flew off the handle and has some anger management issues. And people with anger management issues will make mountains out of molehills just so they have something to release their anger on, right? So I really think that it was blown out of proportion. But again, it's going by what we know here, which is we don't know the entire story. Now, had I read through more of the comments, maybe the original poster might have given some more information. I don't know. I didn't scan through it that much. But ultimately, if there's no physical abuse involved, no restraining orders involved in this situation, I think this brother is being ridiculous, thinking that this man should not be allowed to come visit his child. If the child was well, I would say, then no, he shouldn't come over. The father shouldn't come over to the house. He should, other than to pick up the child. But this child was sick and he wanted to see his father. There's nothing wrong with that. Now, we also don't know how old this child is, assuming it's a young child, under the age of 6, I'm assuming. But so anyway, those are my thoughts. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what you think of that scenario. Again, going with what we know. We don't know the entire story. I thought it was wrong also of the sister-in-law to call the brother as well. I mean, I think that just caused more drama and wasn't necessary. But again, that's based on what I know of the situation, which isn't much. So, but ultimately, I thought that was kind of a drama queen move to do that. I'm not saying should have tried to hide it from the brother, okay? But it could have been something that could have been talked about later, after the father had left. The father comes, spend time with the kid, and then leaves, and the brother comes home later, assuming the brother was at work. It's something you could have told him later, and and even like buffered it, like not trying to upset you, but your nephew is not feeling well and he really wanted to see his father. So I did ask him to come over here. I know you don't like him. I know you're upset with him, and so am I, but we have to set aside that stuff, for the sake of the child, and I think that's reasonable. But again, that's all based on if there's no physical abuse involved. Verbal and emotional abuse is not good either. But in this situation, you can say, look, I want you to come and see him, but you are not to say anything to me other than hello or some idle chit chat. You are here to visit. You are here to visit our child who is asking for you. And that's what this is about, So it's kind of about setting boundaries and around that too. But anyway, I'm kind of going off topic. So, would love to hear your comments, hear what you think about my thoughts on that, and anything that you would add to it. Um, so that's it. I hope everyone's having a great day, and we'll talk again soon. Bye bye.